takeover in Guinea Bissau, calling it a ceremonial coup. He's expressed concern after soldiers appeared on state television claiming control of the country, following heavy gunfire near the presidential palace just days after tumultuous national elections. Listen in to what was said.
What happened in Guinea-Bissau? It is not what some people will say palace coup. It was not a palace coup. We know coups. Real coups, palace coups we know in Nigeria. This was not even a palace coup. I was looking for the appropriate word to describe. I couldn't get it. I described it as a ceremonial coup. It was a ceremony conducted by the head of state himself. That election was concluded. Tallying of the results was almost concluded. In fact, the results are known. And the key thing is that the winner of that election must be announced. Well, they cannot kick out the military with force, otherwise people will die. But let us know the winner of the election.
All right, there, viewers, you heard what exactly the former president Goodluck Jonathan had to say. He's branded the coup that has taken place in Guinea-Bissau as a ceremonial coup. This, of course, follows a briefing that was done by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. Of course, countries in and around Guinea-Bissau, they're monitoring the situation very, very closely. Remember, we've been discussing this. The elections have been rather tumultuous. The opposition party did enjoy a lot of support. There are some analysts who've pointed out what exactly former President Goodluck Jonathan has also described that the coup at large has been a sham, because the general that has taken over now was in fact a close confidant of former ousted President Umaro Sissoco Embalo, who himself fled to Senegal. Senegal as well yesterday did express their concerns with regards to the coup, the democratic backsliding that has taken place. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Ayanuga Olugbenga Paul, public affairs analyst from Lagos in Nigeria. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. Very crucial statement coming in from former President Goodluck Jonathan. His statement follows a briefing with President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. He's called the coup in Guinea-Bissau as a ceremonial coup that has taken place. What do you think is in store for the people of Guinea-Bissau at large at the moment? Is the current status quo of military rule to continue, or are we likely to see the return of Umaro Sissoco Embalo?
First and foremost, before I heard former President Goodluck Jonathan's view yesterday, I had already said it on your news bulletin yesterday that it seems like a sham coup, that it was the incumbent president that seems to have invited the military, having seen that he is losing the election with information at his disposal already. And it was not quite long after I made that statement on your news bulletin yesterday that I came across the video of former Nigerian president also affirming the same thing. Don't forget, he was on ground as an election observer in that country and was caught up in the quagmire of the coup takeover. So, and like the president has said in that video you just played, that the military cannot be forced out because it will lead to a lot of carnage, a lot of unnecessary loss of life, especially of the civilian population. But I think international pressure would help in making sure that the military will do the rightful thing. And the only rightful thing at the moment is to ensure that the winner of that election is announced and installed as new president. Any attempt to bring back Embalo through the back door, which I see as the plan on the long run, might backfire and make the state descend into a state where there will be rebel forces, arming up to defend their territory against the government forces. And Guinea-Bissau is so fragile that I don't think it can handle that pressure. So the best thing with proper sanctions, with proper little bit of threat and carrot dangling from international communities, because many of these army generals have properties stored away in other countries of the world, like France, like UK, like America. And
Mhm.
if you threaten them where it touches their children, they will do the rightful thing and ensure that the election results are announced and the proper winner is also installed.
Hmm. Absolutely. You did mention international pressure should be mounted up until now, and we've discussed this earlier as well. It's the African Union that has till now suspended Guinea-Bissau's membership after the coup. But we are yet to see any action from other countries across the world. So I request you to stay on with us. We're tracking further updates as far as Guinea-Bissau is concerned. We're learning that Guinea-Bissau's ousted president, Umaro Sissoco Embalo, has now arrived in Brazzaville in the Republic of Congo, following the military coup that toppled his government on the 26th of November. This has come days after elections were held in the country. Details of his arrival remain scarce. We, of course, learned earlier that he had fled to Senegal, but now he's arrived in the Republic of Congo, which in itself is a unitary semi-presidential republic under a dictatorship, as many would call it, of Denis Sassou Nguesso. Meanwhile, the military has installed in Guinea-Bissau Major General Horta Inta as the new transitional president. Tensions continue in the country with sporadic clashes reported between security forces and demonstrators. The November 23rd elections have been suspended amidst this particular turmoil. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Ayanaga Olugbenga Paul. Interesting developments coming in as far as the fate of the ousted president is concerned. But interestingly, it seems that the people of Guinea-Bissau are now taking matters into their own hands. They are rallying. There have been protests, there have been clashes as well. Could we see this situation spiral out of control and these clashes then augmenting and spreading? Is that a possibility of taking place, or with the military now in power, could the crackdown continue?
Well, there is an African adage that says you can't beat a child and still tell the child not to cry. It's one or the other. So you would expect more of this protest from the people of Guinea-Bissau. And if the army do not manage the situation very well, like armies want to do in Africa, they want to use maximum force, which might lead to the deaths of protesters, and that might escalate the tension, and you begin to find people forming themselves into rebel forces to take chunks of territory away from government control and whatnot. And before you know it, international players who will benefit from the sales of weaponry, from the mining of minerals on the ground, from whatever they can benefit in, will start coming into the dynamics, and before you know it, spiral out of control. And to avoid that, the earlier the military junta reaches the room and does what is necessary in terms of what are the people clamoring for. I think the military general who is in charge now can decide to be on the good part of, on the good side of history, rather than being a villain in the history of the country that is unraveling at the moment. Because 100 years down the line, those who did well will be in the history book. Those who did well otherwise will also be in the history book. So the earlier they are able to look at this issue holistically and be on the side of the people, on the side of peace for Guinea-Bissau, the better it will be for everyone else. And of course, seeing the president going to Congo, you will see that rivers flow along the same path. So, like they say in birds of feather, you can't expect anything less or more from such a group of people. But I just hope that while he's there trying to pull the string from out of the country, he will also think about posterity and give correct instruction that will lead his name in the good side of the record books.
All right, sir. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking out time, of course, sharing your analysis, your insights of the prevalent situation in Guinea-Bissau. You're yet to see how this plays out, of course. It's just been a couple of days